One more question that I have noticed. I met you, I met some of the other Lebanese. I have found the Lebanese people much different from the other Arab countries. It seems that
Maybe I would say like the top schools in the country are still French speaking school. I mean, humbly speaking, of course, we are people who always have ambition and who look for the future.
other than the Lebanese shawarma, what are the interesting foods in Lebanon? बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम अस्सलाम वालेकुम। मैं अरसलान नईम द थर्ड साइड में आज हमारे साथ लेबनान से अब्दो साद मौजूद हैं, जो कि लेबनान में आपने जैसा कि देखा है कि कुछ दिन पहले बैरूत में एक धमाका हुआ है जिससे बहुत बड़े लेवल पे तबाही हुई है। इस वक्त लेबनान की सूरत हाल क्या है, लेबनान में क्या चल रहा है और लेबनान को मुकम्मल तौर पे अंडरस्टैंड हम लोग करेंगे इस वीडियो में। और हमारे साथ इस वक्त अब्दो साद मौजूद हैं जो कि लेबनान से मुतालिक हर चीज हमारे साथ शेयर करेंगे। सो मिस्टर अब्दो साद, वेलकम टू द थर्ड साइड।
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's good to see you again.
My question to you is a bit of historic and which has relevance to the modern situation also. Lebanon has been an area of interest for all the big powers. Even historically, if we see this region, it was captured by almost all the big powers, be it Greeks, Romans, the North African countries, Phoenicians, Ottomans, Muslim Khalifas also. It was under the rule of every big power. Why Lebanon is so much of interest for everyone, and why even today we see that all the big powers are taking interest. And recently, just a few days back, we have seen that French president came to Lebanon and he said something which disturbed many people in Lebanon.
Well, yes, as you said, historically we have been part of so many conquerors, missions, or plans. I think that the
Alexander, I
geograph.
forgot. Alexander
So,
also
so,
came there.
sorry, who?
Sorry for interrupting you. Alexander also came there
Oh yeah,
to
yeah,
your
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Please continue.
So I think that it is related to the geographical situation of the country, because it literally is the opening of the Middle East. So especially when you are traveling by the sea, and back then, there had no flights. So if you want to go through from the west to the east, or vice versa from the east to the west, Lebanon had to be the gateway for you, for travelers or for traders or for anything. So, uh, sorry, and it has a lot of uh, civilization and the historical events that happened here. So I think this made us look, and also we have this beautiful nature. Although we are a small country, we have this beautiful moderate nature that also is very good for living, or for people coming and residing here. So yeah, I guess it all plays a role for us to be so so
True,
interesting or
true.
attractive for the conquerors.
True, it's a very beautiful country, and also its geographical importance cannot be denied. One more question that I have noticed. I met you, I met some of the other Lebanese, and also I have met so many Lebanese in the past 1 year. I have found the Lebanese people much different from the other Arab countries. It seems that Lebanese people are more influenced by the Western countries, or they aspire to be that, to uh, look like that, or they're more impressed by them. Is my the way I have understood things? Do you agree with that? And why is that? Why Lebanese people uh, look different culturally from the other Arab countries and other Arab peoples?
I mean, this is true to some extent, but let me tell you that it's not that all Lebanese think the same way. I think there is a very big influence of the community in which you belong to in Lebanon, whether religious or cultural or political. But yes, to a very big extent, what you say is true. Now there are maybe some very very big I mean very wide explanations for this. One of them is because there has been a lot of, I mean, the geographical situation of Lebanon is like literally the entrance to the Middle East. So if you want to go enter the Middle East, I mean, of course, speaking through boat or through the sea, Lebanon is the entry place where you want to go. And there is also the, as I said, the community, the religious communities, which a lot of, let's say, Christian communities have had historically good relations with France, with the USA, with Britain, with everyone. I mean, with Italy. So you have this, and also you have the influence of the missionaries. Because if you want to say, maybe I would say like the top schools in the country are still French-speaking schools that were established by French missionaries that came to Lebanon like some 100 years ago, or maybe more or less. So there is a lot to influence the Lebanese people. And since, well, you said, I mean, humbly speaking, of course, we are people who always have ambition and who look for the future. We always have this like kind of looking up towards the countries that are more advanced than us, which in this case are the Western countries mostly. So this all of these play a lot of influence and give a lot of
Is it
influence on Lebanon.
a tough addition to the question, but is it also because the Lebanese people, when they see their ancestors talking a lot about religion and then giving them a system which is too much upsetting and into a turmoil, so now the Lebanese youth, they don't want to do the same. They don't want to be attached with their history, and they want to follow those countries which are now developing and which are progressing in the world. Again, the European countries.
Yeah, well, again, the youth, if you ask them now, a lot of them, and the biggest majority of them, would go for secularism in everything in their life, in whether in the public areas or in schools or in universities. And this, of course, plays a big role because, like France, for example, plays a role of in secularism and how to separate religion from state. And uh, I'm not saying that this is done the right way, but I'm just arguing or analyzing how the youth are thinking. And definitely, all of them agree that the system that is currently now in place has failed to answer their ambitions. So yes, this also, of course, plays a big role, that if we want to move, we have countries to look up to, like France, the United States, Switzerland, I don't know, name whatever you want. But yes, this
Yeah.
plays a big role.
And they want to just follow that thing, which is obviously uh,
Yeah,
better at the moment.
yeah.
Another important question. Historically, Lebanon has been a region of great prophets. A large number of prophets have been here. But the youth of Lebanon, I see when I meet them, most of the people now prefer to be called secular, and they want to have a social system based on secularism. But when we see your political system, that is based on on religious divisions. Why is that? And
Um,
how the Lebanese youth is now seeing that?
Yeah, the current political system, the way we know it today, is the result of the Greater Lebanon, or announcing the Greater Lebanon, establishing the Greater Lebanon in 1920 by the French mandate, because we were under French mandate back then. So it was a system built to manage this diversity and to share the power between the big religious communities, because as you said in the beginning, we have a lot of religious history here, and people are attached to this, to their religious root or to their religious affiliation, which is not wrong at all. But is it a good way to keep on governing ourselves, or to keep on having this political system where power sharing, multi-confessional power sharing, does not hold anyone accountable for their acts? Does this power system, power sharing system, represent what we want the Lebanon? Is it really truly inclusive or all the diversity that it is in Lebanon, or is it actually fracturing the community more and more? And this is why the Lebanese youth are looking to more secular state, but this does not necessarily mean that they are less religious, and this is something very, very crucial to understand. It does not mean that if I don't want to for religion to be part of the state, is that I refuse religion itself. There is a big difference between them.
True, true. This is very interesting, that you guys actually want religion and secularism to run in parallel. You don't want to refuse anything. That is very interesting. One more thing, as per my experience, other than the Lebanese shawarma, what are the interesting foods in Lebanon?
Well, I'm not sure if the shawarma is originally from Lebanon or other Middle Eastern country, but
But
we
it is
have
very
the
tasty.
yeah,
It is
I
very
think
tasty.
yeah, I think we have the fattoush, the tabbouleh, the manouche, the hummus. We have the kibbe neye. We have the raw meat that we eat a lot, and yeah, I think we have like one maybe of the most diverse cuisines in the world, and people really love the Lebanese cuisine. So we have a lot of things.
So one day, I'm going to Lahore in my city in the market in the morning, and you are going to Beirut, the streets of Beirut, and we are going to see which city is more diverse in food. So that, inshallah, promise me that this is going to happen sometime soon.
I promise you, but we have to take into consideration that the COVID the COVID situation will be better for us to go in the markets, or to go in the souk, as we call them.
Inshallah. Thank you so much, Abdo, for joining us in the third side and sharing your views and telling us about what is going on in Lebanon.